welcome to Fresh Perspectives. My name is Gail. I've really been looking forward enthusiastically to today's episode of Fresh Perspectives because my guests are Joanne Zdrojewski and her daughter Mary Zdrojewski, which are the two vegan cooks that frequently appear on my television program. And they are here to do another one of their food programs. Thank you for coming on again.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime. Okay, where should we start? Are we starting with the guessing game?
Yes, we know you love guessing games, Gail, so we planned one for you. But I didn't look at the list this time, so I get to guess too.
Well, I tried to organize the guessing things in a way that would help lead into Mary talking about some different foods that we cook. So we thought that we'd almost use it as our like our agenda here.
Okay.
But yeah, we do like guessing games. And these are just a portion of the kind of spices and things that we use. And today what we wanted to talk about was how we use different spices and flavorings to make foods, and not just we enjoy, that our friends and family enjoy too, things that remind them of, maybe remind us of our pre-vegan days, flavors that we're missing in vegan foods, and so how we use spices to do that. So let's see. Number one, this is the first two are things that we put in just about everything we cook, either fresh or dried.
That one is garlic powder.
Garlic powder, yeah. You think? Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I would concur.
Concur. Garlic powder. So there's garlic and
Onion powder.
onion powder,
Oh, yeah.
yes. See, I'm giving the answer
Is
away
this-
before you
Is
guess.
this the garlic and that's the onion?
Yeah, this is the garlic.
Really?
Yeah.
It smells
But
like
you know,
onion.
they're both in the allium family.
the allium family.
And we know from science, from our friend Dr. Greger in our How Not to Die book, that science tells us that the allium family is like the most powerful food for fighting cancer. So every day, we
Right.
should all eat something from the allium family and the cruciferous family.
Well, anyway, one
so
of
that's
them is
our onion
garlic
and garlic,
powder
yes.
and onion powder. Dr. Joel Furman always says that the initials for the things you're supposed to eat every day are G-bombs,
Right.
and that would be greens, beans, onions. But that would be the whole allium family.
Yeah.
Though. Mushrooms, berries, and the last S must be seeds.
Seeds,
I know, I
probably.
always forget that one.
You know, but that would include nuts. Okay. you
Yeah,
know.
so we love to use, these are actually, they're granulated garlic,
Right,
granulated
right.
onion, because we like them a little better than the powder, but even the powder is fine. And so we try to use fresh as much as we can, but sometimes you're just tired. But it turns out the garlic
Sometimes
powder.
you don't have enough time to
Yeah.
be chopping and
Yeah,
everything.
but the garlic powder still has a lot of health benefits, things that garlic supplements don't have. So I'm just reading Dr. Greger's newest book, How Not to Diet. So
How Not to Diet.
Yeah, still working my way through it. But I just read in there that a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder every day can help people take off weight and sustain it along with other healthy diets.
Yeah, we eat garlic every day. Actually, Carl grows it, so
nice.
we eat a lot of it. You know, we don't just eat it every day. We eat a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
it
good.
every
Good
day.
for you.
So,
Are we on to our next guess here? Whoops.
turmeric.
You can tell just from looking at it.
Just from looking at
Turmeric.
it.
Food
I
we
look
put-
at my fingers.
We put turmeric and cumin in just about everything. You know, the Indian spices. Now, I have been told by people who seem to really know what they're doing that turmeric and taking turmeric and ginger and black pepper together helps to kill cancer cells?
Well, turmeric is very healthy, and it can definitely help to help your body to fight cancer. That's, I think, why it has its name. Turmeric is related to the name. But also, you're right, adding the black pepper, that's because one of the most active flavonoids in turmeric is the curcumin. It's only one, though, so you should take turmeric and not like a curcumin supplement.
Right,
but
right.
the black pepper increases the bioavailability, so your body can absorb more of that.
Oh, yeah, and somehow the ginger goes together with it for some reason.
Yeah, I'm sure on that part.
Yeah, ginger is excellent for so many things. Let's see if you can tell what this is.
Nutritional yeast.
Nutritional yeast, yes.
Yes, nooch. our
Nooch, we
favorite.
call it. Yeah, as our nickname,
Yeah,
Nooch.
Carl always puts it on popcorn. He loves it on popcorn.
It has a very cheesy, buttery taste,
Uh-huh.
definitely. It adds a lot of flavor to foods, a lot of
Oh, yeah,
cheesiness.
yeah.
It's also good for, it's not a live leaf yeast. It's a yeast that's grown and then like baked, I think, baked,
Yeah.
dehydrated,
Yeah, this
flaked.
is not the kind of yeast, those of you in the viewing audience, it's not the kind of yeast you use in baking bread.
Yeah.
So,
And it's very good for your health. I know they say it's good to prevent colds. I've seen that research. Anything else you want to say about nutritional yeast?
It's loaded with B vitamins. You can get you hear it said that vegans, that you can only get B12 from plant foods, but nutritional yeast flakes contain B12.
Yeah, if they're enriched with it. We
And-
actually use
and
an
then-
unenriched, but
and then,
most of what you find in the store are enriched nutritional yeast.
And it also contains chromium, which is good for regulating blood sugar levels.
Yeah.
So these are, I guess, would you say these are our favorite spices?
Those are like our core four, I would say.
Yeah,
Core four, good.
we use the nutritional yeast flakes in our breakfast. You know, like if you have a bowl of oatmeal or something. We usually put it in breakfast, the nutritional yeast flakes and some ground up flaxseed in our breakfast. You can put it in stir it into a fruit salad or some granola or anything, yeah.
Well, I got these four out first. So Mary can tell
Do you
you
want this?
how she combines them to make some really yummy foods.
You can tell there's turmeric in those. They're really glowing. So
Yeah, they are really pretty. Yeah,
Wanna
it's
taste
funny. It's actually kind of a reddish orange in by itself, but it turns foods yellow.
Like a neon yellow,
yeah.
We'll
yeah,
have to
so
taste some of that, Gail.
I am a huge fan of tofu scrambles.
There's a little
I make
fork
them
together.
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time, but I think I've brought a tofu scramble here before, maybe last time. So
Yeah,
I
you
thought,
did.
"It's something different." So these are like more like omelets.
Yeah, they're cute. The cute little omelets. Do you want
Yeah.
one, Mary?
I ate actually all the ugly ones this morning,
The ones that
the
didn't
ones
turn
that were
out
not
good.
TV worthy. So,
So what do you put in these, Mary?
So it's silken tofu, and I blended it with onion powder, garlic powder, turmeric and black pepper, nutritional yeast, and I also added something that's probably also on your list there, which is black salt. So I try really hard to limit salt, but a little bit of black salt goes a long way.
Do you use black salt, Gail?
No, I've never used it.
Ah, this is what black salt looks like. It's got kind of a pinkish look to it.
Pinkish gray.
Oh, okay, so that's black salt there.
Yeah,
Oh,
we buy it at
you know, I
the,
wouldn't have guessed that. You know,
Yeah, it's very
I couldn't
expensive.
have-
We buy it at an Indian grocer
oh,
in little packets for like $1.50 a pack. It
and
goes
that
a long way.
that goes in these.
It's
Yes,
salt.
let her smell it.
Yeah, let me take
Let
a
me smell it?
Yeah,
and maybe even
sure.
taste a little bit of it.
Yeah, take a little pinch of it.
Yeah, taste a little pinch. See what you think.
It is a potent tasting.
Yes. It's very strong
Salt.
tasting, so you don't need very much. And
No.
It's very,
Yeah, you got a good sized piece
very
there.
Yeah,
sulfury.
But the
So
thing
it
of it is, you can't
makes things
smell it
taste
so much,
like-
but you taste it. You taste the sulfur in there.
Yeah.
It's very
Tastes
sulfury
very much
taste.
yeah,
like
I
egg.
can,
Smells
I
like-
can see where
smells like
I can
cooked eggs.
see where putting that in would make it taste like eggs.
Yes,
Yeah.
makes everything taste
That
like
it
eggs.
was an eggy taste, because I haven't always been vegan all my life, and I remember what eggs tasted like, and when I tasted that salt.
Yeah. One of the things that I miss since going vegan is like a fried egg sandwich on toast.
Oh yeah.
I
yeah.
loved egg sandwiches on toast. But I take a piece of toast and avocado, mash it in, and sprinkle it with black salt and some fresh ground black pepper, and it tastes like eating an egg sandwich. If I close my eyes, that's what it tastes like. Yeah.
So you can't find this in the regular grocery stores?
I have not seen it in the regular grocery
You
store.
have not
No,
even in
it's tough
not
to
even in
find.
Wegmans.
No, not even
No.
at Wegmans.
So we head up to Buffalo, we run into the Indian grocer and pick up a pack or two.
Yeah.
And lasts a long time.
I
And you see,
really
it doesn't take much. You had a good taste of it there.
I
only need a
really
pinch.
miss that Indian restaurant that was in Jamestown. That's where we used to like to go to eat if we needed a meal while we were spending an entire
Yeah.
day in Jamestown or
Yeah.
something. We'd go over there and
Yeah.
get some Indian food to eat. I really miss
So
that.
if someone's thinking about going vegan, they'd say, oh, I really would miss eggs because I love eggs. It's like there are ways to make things that taste very much like eggs. Tofu scrambles. A lot of people make like garbanzo flour omelets too, but you add that black salt, it tastes very egg-like. Or like I said, my avocado with black salt.
This mixture I usually make into quiche. It makes a really nice quiche.
Oh, very nice quiche. She made a beautiful quiche for Christmas morning. It's really good. Yeah.
All right, moving on your list.
Move on, yes. Let's let Mary smell this time first. Maybe.
Did she not tell you ahead of time what
No.
what these were?
She wanted to guess.
Oh, I think I put this one in my eggs this
Yes,
morning
and the
too. I
next
forgot
dish
to
you're gonna
mention
talk
that.
to us about.
Okay.
This we use. These are like things we use very often.
Yes, I also put this in things that I want to taste eggy
Or cheesy.
or cheesy. Yeah.
It's spicy, whatever it is.
Kind of hot tasting.
Yeah, it's hot. Is it no, it wouldn't be ginger, would it?
No.
No.
Should we give her a hint?
Yeah, give me
Tell
a
you
hint.
what it comes from here.
Oh, over there.
Yes. It's made from this. Another seed. You know what those seeds are? Well, we're stumping Gail today.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Are these? No. Let me think. No, I guess you're going to have to tell me.
Okay. Mustard seeds.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I use the whole seeds in things like maybe coleslaw or making pickled things like bread and butter pickles or relish, things like that. But the powdered mustard we use in a lot of dishes that we want to taste eggy or cheesy.
That is my my secret ingredient when I make tofu scramble. I think my tofu scramble tastes better than a lot of restaurants, and that's my secret ingredient is a little mustard
Is ground
powder.
up mustard.
The mustard
okay.
powder, yeah, a little bit
Yeah.
of mustard powder.
Really
And this
makes
is
it
the
rich.
this is what the mustard
That's
seeds.
the whole mustard seed, yeah. So you can make your own mustard if you want.
Yeah, yeah, you
Mustard
can.
and turmeric and some apple cider vinegar. It's pretty hot. You have to kind of let it mellow a little bit. It's pretty spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got everything we need there for, probably not your black salt, but everything you need for the next thing you make.
Almost. Do you
What else do I
have?
need here? We got onion, garlic, mustard, nutritional yeast,
Maybe some of this.
turmeric, maybe some of this. All right.
Is that cayenne pepper?
You're going to be able to tell when you smell this one.
It almost has a bacony smell to it, doesn't it?
Smells like bacon, yeah.
But I'll bet it's real hot and spicy.
Actually, pretty mild.
Is it paprika?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
it's smoked
paprika.
paprika.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have trouble telling paprika from cayenne just by looking at them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's really nice, smoky smell. So Mary uses these spices along with,
Although I actually just use regular paprika in this, not
in
the
this one you
smoky.
use regular?
Yeah.
Do you use a little bit of cayenne or red pepper flakes in
I
that?
put a little bit of red pepper flakes in
Is
sometimes.
this homemade mustard?
This is cheese sauce. So
Oh,
got some,
okay.
got some chips there.
Go. You want to try it on a chip?
So
Yes.
this is my favorite cheese sauce. And yeah, sometimes I put in some red pepper flakes when I blend it.
Dip it or put some on
right.
your
I
plate, either way,
I
whatever you want
shouldn't stick it in, right?
This makes my favorite macaroni and cheese. Makes a really nice
Macaroni and
mac and
cheese, cheesy potato casserole, nachos, cheese on a baked potato.
So what do you use for ingredients in this? One of them's got to be the nutritional yeast, right?
There's no nutritional yeast
There's
in this one.
not?
Oh,
No.
I put some in mine. You put some in yours?
Oh.
Yeah.
I usually don't because I put nutritional yeast in so many other things. I like to vary flavors a little. But mostly in this one, I use some cashews, and then I also use just these veggies I've got up here. I've got a clove of garlic, a small onion, 1 carrot, and then I think I put in 2 small Yukon Gold potatoes. So I steam the vegetables and I blend them with some cashews and I put in those spices, and it makes
some-
this really.
So you make that in your,
Mustard?
you just throw the ingredients in the blender.
In the
yeah, just in the
blender.
blender,
Yeah.
and I just have a cheap $15 blender. You don't need a fancy $500 thing to make a nice cheese.
Yeah. And we tried a lot of different cheese recipes, and we love them all. But this is the easiest, and there's like no guilt. Because there's barely any salt. In place of salt, you usually use miso.
I did put miso paste in this.
Miso paste.
Yeah.
Great. We were going to bring some, we forgot. That's
Yeah,
an
there's,
excellent way to flavor without adding salt.
Yeah, there's one recipe that I have that I make macaroni and cheese with. It calls for
Oh, sure.
it calls for cashew butter and sesame tahini and pimentos and nutritional yeast flakes and water and, well, you wouldn't be able to do it, Mary, because it calls for a little bit of cornstarch.
Can always sub in arrowroot.
Arrowroot
Right,
will
for
work
that
in
instead
it
of
too.
cornstarch.
And so it calls for onion and garlic and like that too. And it just makes it looks, all you do is you blend all of the ingredients together and then you cook it on the stove till it comes to a boil, and then it's thick. It's like, it looks like melted Velveeta cheese. It really does. The pimentos kind of cause it to
Yeah, I make
color
I
that.
make a sliceable cheese that I put a whole red pepper in. And then I put something called agar. Agar. It's like a gelatin, a sea vegetable gelatin, and you slice it into, make it into cubes like Velveeta. And that's good for sandwiches and all.
Yeah.
This one I just love because, like I said, there's no guilt. It's like a jar full of vegetables right there.
Right.
Potatoes, carrots, onion, garlic, and it tastes like cheese sauce.
Yeah.
Like we remember cheese sauce tasting.
So
It's
whenever
amazing.
people tell me they want to start eating healthier and they don't know where to start, I always suggest this macaroni and cheese recipe because you put this
Yeah.
on pasta and bake it and it
you
tastes
know,
just like mac
I
and cheese.
think macaroni and cheese is one of the comfort foods that people miss the most, that they don't really want to give up,
Right.
is macaroni and cheese. But you can have that and, an alternative that tastes just as good.
Just good.
And-
Easy to make. You don't have to worry about keeping it refrigerated beforehand. Do we have the fresh ingredients? Because everything's out of the pantry, which is really nice. And it's inexpensive. It costs a lot less than cheese to make.
Oh, yeah, cheese is expensive. You hear people complaining.
You can just
Complaining about the price of cheese, and I tell them, well, don't buy it anymore.
It does not cause cancer.
I'll give you some. I'll give you some recipes.
Well,
Right.
you know.
dairy and cancer, the link is so strong.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
you know, none of us should be eating dairy. It is
No.
not a food that is healthy
No,
for our bodies
no.
in any way. So
Well, I remember one of our speakers at one of our vegetarian society dinners one time said that 100% of all the men that get prostate cancer are men that eat meat and dairy products. So,
yeah.
Was that when we
Yeah.
had Dr. George Eistman? I think that was her first Vegetarian Society meeting, and that was the one that turned her vegan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She listened to what he said, and she went home and she did her own research, and she decided that the research showed that he was right. So
Yeah.
that was it for her.
yep.
That's the thing. It's like, look at the research yourself. If you don't believe it, and it's so readily available online. Actually, there's a lot of pseudoscience online too. But if you stick to sites like nutritionfacts.org, that's Dr. Greger who's written these 3 books, books that he does not profit from. Nutritionfacts.org is a nonprofit organization. Any profits received from the books are given to charity. And that's one of the ways you can, I think, judge a nutrition information site is by, you know, where is the money going from? Are they selling supplements? A lot of times you'll find they sell
Well,
supplements.
you know, a lot
they
of
sell
people,
diet programs.
unfortunately, a lot of people like the sites that promote the bad things that are bad for your health. You know, I keep hearing people say about how the animal fat diets are the best for you and stuff like that, but they're the ones that are going to have all of the health problems.
Yeah.
It's tragic. And the How Not to Diet, even if you don't need to lose weight, the book is fascinating. The whole first section is really just looking at the science, what we know about the obesity problem in America, and like what is causing it. And it's not necessarily what you think. There's a lot of different causes.
There's a lot of surprises in that book. She's always calling me to say, did you read this yet? Did you read that yet? But it is amazing what they've found out through research. It is not what you would think at all. It's very contrary to, I guess,
Well, Dr.
what we commonly
Greger,
understood.
Dr. Greger is one of the people that was interviewed on the What the Health
Yes.
DVD. Ann Watkins loaned me hers one time. I had it for a month, and I think I watched it 2 or 3 times a week.
this past summer, he was named as the...
He was inducted in the Vegan Hall of Fame.
The Vegan Hall of Fame, yeah.
Which is a very high honor.
Yes,
and it was
long overdue.
Long overdue.
Yeah,
yes.
and now they call the Vegetarian Summerfest, the name of it has been changed to Vegan Summerfest.
right.
Yeah, and the 2 of you usually go to that every year,
We go
right?
every year. Yeah,
it's on
we're
our
volunteer
calendars
staff.
already. Yeah, yeah. That is that last week of June, first week of July, right? And it's just
Johnstown,
PA. It's not
Pennsylvania,
very
yeah.
far away.
Very
you can go for the whole conference or just the weekend. All vegan food if you want to try out being vegan without having to cook.
Famous researchers.
Great
Yes,
chefs.
all the world-class scientists, everyone who's made a name for themselves in the world of nutrition is usually there with whatever the latest research is showing. It's really great.
Yeah, so if anybody wants more information about that, you can go to Vegan Fest online.
Vegan
and
Summerfest.
Vegan Summerfest, yeah.
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 All right, you moving
So
on in your
that's
list?
our cheese.
Cheese.
Oh, why don't you show my little jar there?
Oh, she's hid that because she was embarrassed by it, but she got it out anyway.
But Gail has talked about this so much today. I keep this little jar on the breakfast table, and inside I have on my breakfast toast every morning, I sprinkle a little spoonful of this. Whoops. And I have it all mixed up. And inside there is, can you guess what I've got in there? All the things you've talked about so far.
Turmeric, nutritional yeast flakes,
Black pepper.
black pepper.
For the turmeric, to make it more bioavailable. ginger.
Ginger.
Ginger for my joints, so I don't have achy joints, so I keep eating the ginger. A little black salt, tastes like egg, so when I put it in my avocado in the morning or my peanut butter has an eggy taste. And, one ingredient we haven't talked about in there. Can you
what's
tell
that?
what's in there? Don't say it out loud, I'm going to show it to Gail.
Oh, I can see.
Yeah.
But I
okay.
keep that right on the breakfast table. I have a sprinkle of it every morning. No sore joints. If I run out of it for a couple of days, I might feel a little achy. Thank you.
Well, I'm not going to say poppy seeds because this
Not
is
poppy
not the
seeds,
right.
no.
It's not the
Gonna
right
finish my
shape, but it's about that size.
This is
This
new
is
to
a
our diet in
tricky
the
one.
last 6 months or so, would you say?
No,
or-
I've had it for several years. I just haven't eaten it
Oh.
daily.
Well,
Daily.
it's some sort of a seed that's
Yeah.
black.
Yes, it is some sort of.
You've
you wanna-
got
you wanna-
2/3 of the
yeah,
words.
Shake a little on
Black something seeds.
Black
is what they call
something
it.
seeds. Anise?
No.
Um,
Are you going to tell us, Joanne? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
tell
was kind of.
It's called black cumin,
oh,
but it is not
really?
cumin. It is
Not
not
related
what you
to
think
cumin.
of as cumin. It's actually onion seeds, right? Onion
Really?
seeds? Yeah.
It's onion seeds?
And it's like getting all the buzz now, especially since it's in the new How Not to Diet book. So everybody wants to know how to get
Right.
black cumin.
So-
But it's something that we should be eating every day. And can you tell us some about
Yeah,
it?
so I first bought my jar of it years ago to make my own Ethiopian food. It's a common flavor in Ethiopian cooking. But I only used it off and on. And then you know that we have a mast cell disease.
Right,
And so then I'd read that this is high in mast cell stabilizers.
Oh.
So I started adding it more regularly to my food, and then I learned that it really can have all kinds of health benefits, especially it helps lower cholesterol in people already eating a healthy diet who struggle with cholesterol. Black cumin seeds can really help. And I know that there were other benefits, and I can't remember
Yeah,
them
I can't
all
remember what they all
offhand.
are in the book.
We
But
could
he
look it up
lists
in
it
the
as
book.
in the 21 takeaways from the book. It's like that you should eat black cumin like every day.
Yeah, he suggests a quarter teaspoon every day. So,
Onion seeds.
So
yeah, it's an onion seed.
I do enjoy, they're common in Jewish rye bread, apparently. They put them on top. So I was putting it on top of I make a fake rye bread, gluten-free rye bread, and I put those on top, and now I just put them in the loaf itself. And they're really flavorful. They give the bread a nice flavor. And they're super healthy.
So I included it in my little jar of everything I want to eat in the day. Oh, there's also some flax meal mixed in there. So it's
Oh,
like
yeah, flax
flax,
seed.
turmeric, ginger, black pepper, nutritional yeast, and black cumin. And it's all in my little jar. I sprinkle it on my toast. It's like, I got it for the day. I'm done.
Yeah, yeah. We do a lot with breakfast. We eat a lot of fruit. It's a good time of the day to eat nuts and seeds raw. And you don't
in
need
the
much of
morning,
anything. You don't really need much of anything else, you know, once
Right.
you got your nuts, seeds.
Berries
fruit.
and berries in the morning are very good because there's like an effect with berries. It's a powerful antioxidant, and through the day, the free radicals and things
Your
start
oxidative load.
oxidative load. It starts building and it kind of gets on a roll and it builds faster and faster. So if you eat some antioxidants at every meal, especially at breakfast, it kind of slows that increase down during the day, and overall health benefits are greatly magnified just by having berries in the morning. So we try to remember to have berries every morning. Okay, we should get through some of these spices.
Yeah,
Huh?
keep moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But yeah, the timer is right over there.
Oh,
You might
okay.
want to be glancing at
There's
it.
one. We'll go faster.
Okay. Okay, let's see. It has a strong smell. I'm trying to think.
It's very common. And we've talked about it already.
Did was it a name that I used?
Yeah, it's black pepper, fresh
okay.
ground black pepper.
Black pepper.
And we do want to remember to, every time you use turmeric, to put a little, just, grind a little black pepper into whatever you're making, and your body gets the effect of the turmeric so much stronger. Okay. 8. You want to try one? I wouldn't taste too much of
No,
that
is
one.
that?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
can
don't
talk
know
about
what that
this
is.
too.
I'm
This
not
is a
going.
house
I'm not
spicy.
going to taste this because
You know what that one is?
because it's cayenne
Yes.
pepper.
Cayenne pepper, yes.
A little goes a long
Little
way.
goes a long
with
way.
Cayenne
And there's
pepper.
a lot of research out there about migraines and cayenne pepper, that you can stop a migraine with a little bit of cayenne pepper. Yeah. Um,
That's a
one,
nice,
you
easy
know.
one. Yep.
Okay, red pepper.
Red
Yes.
pepper flakes, yes. Many, many health benefits, and that's another flavor that goes a long way. Just put a little sprinkle in. We use that a lot. Now, the next bunch of spices I'm going to talk about here are ones that we use when we want to make something taste meaty. Would you say meaty? So we have.
Thyme.
No.
Sage.
Sage. And here's your thyme.
There's the thyme.
Sage
yeah.
and thyme.
Sage and thyme.
Thyme, and if I had it with me, I'm out of it, savory. And these are the spices that make up poultry seasoning
With black pepper.
with black pepper. Yeah, if you buy a tub, a little shaker of poultry seasoning, it's sage, thyme, savory, black pepper. And those are what I put in things to make them taste meaty. And that's parsley I put in things that are meaty. Let's see. Here we'll unveil.
When I put
Another dish here.
sage in something, people always say, "Oh, it smells amazing. What is it?" And it's just
Okay,
sage.
these are vegan meatball
Meatballs.
alternatives.
We've got some
Yeah,
sauce.
and
if
I
you
got
want some.
some homemade barbecue sauce. If you want to put a little barbecue sauce on it.
Oh, yeah.
You can dip it. You want one, Mary? Now?
Sure. I'll serve myself while you can talk.
So whenever I make something that I want to taste meaty, usually like a meatball, a fancy loaf for a special dinner, burgers, bean burgers, whatever, I add sage, thyme, savory if I have it, salt and pepper, nutritional yeast.
So those will make it taste kind of like poultry-ish, and then to change it to like a beefy flavor,
Yes.
we add our
Molasses.
secret ingredient.
Yeah, secret ingredient. We use more molasses now than I ever did in my whole lifetime. I think molasses was usually just for ginger snap cookies.
So that
But
goes in your barbecue, the sauce.
It's in the barbecue sauce. It's in the meatballs. Anytime I make a loaf or anything that I want to taste beefy, we're making like a chicken soup. I add a little, not chicken soup, but a
like-
vegetable soup. I add a little molasses. We add molasses to our lentils. What else do you add molasses to? Oh, I'm sorry.
So you use tomatoes
In the
in that?
Yeah, this was tomato paste, cider vinegar, ginger, allspice, turmeric, black pepper, molasses, cider vinegar, I said, and that's, brown sugar.
Oh, brown
That's
sugar.
the bad ingredient, brown sugar.
Uh-oh.
But that's what makes it really taste like a sweet barbecue sauce. Oh, and the smoked paprika.
Well, smoked paprika.
Give it a
Oh,
little
the smoked
smoky
paprika.
taste. Yeah, it gives it a nice
Yeah.
smoky taste. I like a lot of ginger in my barbecue sauce. So you can make your barbecue sauces from scratch and lean them any direction you want. If you like ginger, if you want to more Asian, you can put in like sesame oil, things like that.
Yeah, I won't eat the store-bought barbecue sauce because one time I had a really bad gas pain from barbecue sauce, a store-bought. I don't know what was
Oh,
in
some
it. but-
ingredient wasn't good for you.
Yeah, my stomach blew up like a big balloon. It was horrible. And then I got rid of it by drinking peppermint tea. You know, I got it to clear up. But after that, I would never eat anything like that again.
Yeah. Find the ingredients that bother you, and then you find a substitute for them.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
For the Vegetarian Society for the Thanksgiving dinner, when I made the gluten-free roast, so I used a recipe from out of Dr. Greger's How Not to Die cookbook, but I did adapt it because I thought there were some things that could add. One thing I added was molasses.
Oh, really?
Adds a much deeper flavor.
I wish I had tried that. I just had the seitan that Ann had made. And ever since then, you know, I mean, there was so much food at that dinner. It was...
And people ate so much food at that dinner. We didn't go home with any
Thanksgiving, the
leftovers.
I mean,
yeah.
even without trying your roast, I figured, well, we have to save that for the people who don't want to eat the gluten, you know, or can't eat the gluten. So I didn't have any, and ever since then I've been kicking myself for not having tried it, because it was probably really, really good.
Yeah, we'll make some more sometime.
Yeah, we'll make some more.
But I mean, I was like so stuffed. You know, when we have the dinners in the colder months when the days are shortest and we have them on Sunday afternoons, we never eat anything again the whole rest of the day or evening, you know, because we wind up being so stuffed.
But when I make the things like a roast or a meatball, I use a lot of the green herbs. You probably can tell that one. That's very common when they're bright green. Mary likes it because it's another mast cell stabilizer.
It's either oregano or
That one, parsley.
parsley.
Yeah, this one.
Is that
Yeah.
the oregano there? This one?
Yes, that's the oregano.
This is the oregano, okay.
And this is one that's similar to oregano. This is marjoram.
Oh, marjoram, yeah.
It's not as strong a scent.
I like marjoram. I really do like it a lot. It makes things taste really
Yeah,
good.
oregano and marjoram. Oregano is a super strong antioxidant. So say you make a spaghetti sauce and it's so good for you. You've got the tomatoes, onions and things, got lots of antioxidants. But you add a pinch of oregano to it and it's like almost like 100-fold the antioxidants in it. And marjoram does even better job than oregano. So
Well,
if there's anything
marjoram-
that you can add a little herb to, you know, like a spaghetti squash, a super stew, add a little of each of those and it'll really bump up the nutrition for you.
Marjoram is one of the herbs that's mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah, it's
Tells you
our
how
lentils.
important it is.
Yeah.
And lentil stew, yeah.
Lentil stew, yeah. Yeah, I think I had, dill.
Oh, dill.
Dill
yeah.
is very nice if you're gonna make a dip, those dill dips or
Yeah,
pickles.
certain foods have to have dill in them.
I don't use
you
a lot
know,
of
dill
to-
is so
to
pretty.
taste
It's very
good.
pretty
Yeah.
herb. Yeah, it's got a nice strong flavor to it. So, but you can temper the kind of meat that you make by the kind of herbs and things you put in. So you want to make this. I'm making these meatballs because I was going to put barbecue sauce on. But if I were going to put them in like spaghetti and meatballs, I would have put in the oregano, and I would have put in the marjoram, and I might have put in some of these.
Oh,
Right? You know
I
what
put
those
those in my tofu scramble to make it taste sausagey.
Yeah.
And in my pizza crust.
Fennel seeds.
Fennel
Yes.
seeds, yeah. Sprinkle a little fennel seeds, crush them a little if you can. But yeah, they're good just a munch, yeah. At the Indian restaurants, they have the fennel seeds sometimes on the table, or sometimes they sell them like covered with like a candy coating. They're so good. Do they settle your tummy? When you were a baby and you had colic, I used to make you fennel tea. That was what they gave for babies with colic then. But it does make it taste more sausagey. Yeah. So use the spices to flavor things the way you want them to be. Let's see, these are, as long as we're talking seeds, these are caraway seeds too.
Oh,
Caraway
yeah.
seeds,
And I add those to my fake rye bread.
Your fake rye bread.
And
Yeah,
it tastes just like rye, even though it doesn't have any gluten.
I put them sometimes in real rye bread.
Yes.
I miss, being vegan, I miss roast beef on Kimwick.
Oh, do you?
So I get the portobello mushrooms and I slice them super thin, and I put a little garlic, onion, sometimes a little bit of molasses, but not always, and I cook them and it makes their own juice gravy. But I usually throw in caraway seeds because it gives me that taste that a beef on Kimmelwick rolled in.
Oh, yeah,
So-
yeah.
So that's another nice
like,
seed that you can use to.
In the not too distant future, St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and a lot of people like what they call Reuben sandwiches.
Yes.
You know, with what do they call the meat?
Corned beef?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
corned beef, and with, I think they put cheese on it too, don't they? But
Yeah. Yeah, they're very easy to veganize.
But, like Carol makes homemade sauerkraut, and you can take some use some sort of a vegan meat alternative, a plant-based meat alternative, and what some of your cheese sauce and some sauerkraut, and have a vegan.
Yes.
Make a
we
have a
make
vegan Reuben
vegan
sandwich.
Thousand Island dressing to go
We
with
make
the
some
Russian
very good
dressing.
Reubens. Yes.
Yeah.
We love tempeh on them.
Tempeh, yeah.
Oh,
The-
yeah.
And the little restaurant down at the cafe in Erie, Whole Foods Cafe, they make a that's how we started, I think. We got
Yes.
hooked on them. Tempeh Reubens
Oh
there.
yeah.
But now we
yeah.
make our own.
I had a Reuben sandwich there one time. We don't get there very often, but I had a plant-based Reuben sandwich
Yeah.
there one time.
So like for St. Patrick's Day, we miss corned beef and cabbage. So I'd make a pot of onions, carrots, potatoes, cabbage, and no meat, but I add in caraway seeds, and I add in mustard seeds, a little celery seed, and it tastes like corned beef and cabbage. Those same spices that came with when you would buy the piece of meat, you know, it had spices in it, spice pack. Put those same spices in with the cabbage and potatoes, and you get that
and it tastes enough like it
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Yeah. And last year you threw in some jackfruit, and it really tasted.
That's right.
Like
It
it.
looked like it then. Jackfruit. Have you tried the jackfruit?
I haven't.
They
no.
sell it at Tops in like it's like a lightly freeze-dried form. It's in a box, and it's like little chunks, and it's cooked. So I just like crumble it up, and I put it in with the cabbage and potatoes. It looks like, it's kind of pinkish, looks like meat. It looks like there's corned beef in there. It really does. I put it sometimes in if I make a vegetable stew that I want to taste like beef stew, I put those chunks of jackfruit in. And then I get the beefy taste from some tamari or soy sauce, from the molasses, sage, thyme, savory. And you get something that tastes like a beef stew. Are we running out of time, huh? We better
Yeah,
get
we
moving
got to
here.
get
Faster
moving
on your
along.
list.
Okay,
We're allowed to run a few minutes over, though.
Well, you've done a lot of these already. I think they're just
Yes,
hanging out
Mary,
there.
we're going to talk about the next thing that Mary made for us. We're going to talk about baking spices.
Ooh.
So there's a hint.
It looks
There's
like donuts,
one. There's-
only
You can see what that one is. 19.
this is cumin, isn't it?
Can I smell it? Let's
Unless
see.
I might have got the wrong cap
Oh,
on
no,
it, but I don't think so.
no, allspice.
Allspice, right.
I don't know why I was thinking that was
That's-
cumin.
Allspice.
That's an easier one there. I can smell the allspice.
Is this cardamom or
That is cinnamon.
cinnamon? Okay.
And this one, there's a hint right in there.
There's a hint right in there.
Yeah, you can, a visual hint.
Is
That's
this-
one of my
Is
favorite
this
baking
the
spices.
cardamom?
Nope, this is nutmeg, and I put the,
Nutmeg.
if you have a nutmeg grater and you get the nut and you grate it, you just grate a little bit into your, is that one of your favorite smells, Mary? Tell us about what you
I
do
love
with
nutmeg.
nutmeg.
So I love nutmeg in cookies and baked goods, but especially in donuts, because I found when you put nutmeg in, it gives it that real donut taste that you expect. So these are just my super simple donuts,
Gluten-free.
gluten-free, and these are actually fat-free, sugar-free, salt-free. They're pretty much everything-free donuts, but they're still very tasty.
Did you want to try a donut? Do you want a clean
Yeah.
plate there? Or?
They're a
There's
little
an
nicer when they've got a little
Oh, yeah,
glaze
I-
on,
I-
but I was trying
have
to
one, I just put
keep
it
all
on my
sugar-free
lap.
today. Yeah, but it's they're just gluten-free oats and bananas, and then some baking soda, but then also the spices, so
Yep.
cinnamon
This is
and nutmeg.
ginger. We talked about ginger. There is cardamom here. Cardamom, I forget to use in baking,
Part of my donut there.
but, oh, thank you. But
Yeah.
I use cardamom a lot in, I make Indian food,
Mm-hmm.
and I make my own curry powder, and I think almost every spice here goes into my curry powder blend. So one of the best things I like about curries is I make a vegetable curried stew, and it's like every vegetable I love and every spice that I love goes in that pot, and it's delicious. And I think it's the best thing for knocking a cold out of you, those spices.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if there's anything we...
Celery seed you haven't
Celery
done
seed,
yet.
yeah.
We've done the mustard seed and the black salt.
Yep, there's the celery seed.
Okay, that's the last one
You
then.
use celery seed more than I do, I think.
Mm-hmm.
She's always throwing celery seed in something.
I put it
It's
in
got a
my
strong flavor.
I put it in my hash browns. I home fries when I make a tofu scramble, because it's pretty salty, celery seed. So I can use it in place of salts on my home fries.
Yeah, celery adds salt to any dish, to a soup or stew. If you want something to taste saltier in a natural way. I don't see, we missed somewhere our cumin, but cumin is a spice. It's here on the table somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
I-
Is this it right here, number 10?
No, that's sage. I can tell. What number is it supposed to be?
I'm looking on
It's
my...
listed as,
I don't even see it. Did I
we're
forget?
talking-
I
Maybe
could
you
have
didn't
forgotten
bring
to
it.
bring cumin. Could you believe that?
oh, yeah.
Cumin
I love the
is-
smell of it. I love the smell of it and the
Yes.
taste of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
anything you want to taste, like Mexican, throw in cumin. It's
Indian.
great, and like
Indian.
home fried potatoes and Indian food. Yeah, yeah, cumin is wonderful.
And-
Good for you, spice.
And all of these herbs and spices are just like powerhouses of antioxidants. So if anyone has any kind of inflammation or is trying to keep their body as, anti-cancer, inhospitable to cancer and disease as they can, these are, the more herbs and spices you can add, the better. And for pennies a day, you can really boost your health.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, our spice cabinets are very full because we usually buy the big canisters of spice, so you can imagine. And I didn't even bring everything that we use, but
And when we have to go and replace things, they always say, oh, somebody's doing some cooking today. And we say, we do some cooking every day. Yeah,
We just happen to be out of stuff today.
Yes, I go
Yeah.
through a lot of spices.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So don't be afraid to try herbs and spices. I don't know that there is any herb or spice that I have heard that is not good for you.
There are some that you should limit, but not many. Like cinnamon, we had cinnamon here. And so there are different kinds of cinnamon. There's cassia cinnamon and Ceylon are the two main kinds. And cassia cinnamon has shown great things that it does with reducing blood glucose levels.
Oh, yeah.
But it also can be toxic, especially the liver. So it's not recommended that people eat a lot of cassia cinnamon. So people should really limit that to just a sprinkle a few times a week. Ceylon cinnamon doesn't have those blood glucose benefits, but it doesn't have the toxicity. So
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the one to go crazy with. It's
Well,
the one I don't like as much. But
Another
oh well.
thing that I've heard about cinnamon too is you don't want to just put a teaspoon of it in your mouth and swallow it because it can get in and smother you actually if you somehow get into the respiratory tract.
that makes sense.
And
And
like
it
that.
probably
But I
burns,
don't know why anybody would do that though anyway,
Right.
because I mean it's not going to feel good in your mouth or anything if you take a spoonful
Right.
of it.
Well, the important thing to remember with all nutrition is that foods are a package deal. So we have all these spices and they all have beneficial compounds, and scientists try to take those compounds and put them into a pill or separate them out. But you always get more benefit when you're eating the whole food. So even with spices, even combining them with different foods, you get a lot more benefits than if you were to eat them on their own. So it's always better to just eat whole natural foods as a package deal.
Right, right. Now, we've covered all of the food that you brought, right?
I
Pretty
think so.
much. We didn't talk about the empty lemon juice.
Oh.
here.
We go through a lot of lemon juice. We brought that.
And
I put that in all our cheeses. So my
I see.
secret recipe for cheese, for any cheese, is just something creamy, something salty, and something acidic. So this one we had the vegetables and nuts for creamy. We had lemon juice for the acidic, and we had miso for the salt. But if you just combine those three, you can make anything taste cheesy.
yeah.
Well, for those of you in the viewing audience, if you like the taste of bananas, you probably would like Mary's donuts because you can definitely taste the banana in it, and that's the only sweetener that's in
Right,
it.
that's
Is the
the only
banana.
sweetener.
Natural sweetener, yep. Yeah. We use the lemon juice a lot of times to bring out other flavors, but Mary is an advocate of using lemon juice instead of salt.
Yes, because we all should be eating less salt. We all know that. There are, because of blood pressure, because of the risk of stomach cancer, it's just good to limit. But we like that salty taste in food. If you add some acid, like lemon juice, you don't need as much salt. So you can get away with adding very little or adding even no salt if you add some lemon juice. It kind of tricks your mouth and your brain.
So always add a little lemon juice to the cheese sauces or lemon juice to tofu scrambles, things like that. She puts lemon juice if she makes a grilled sandwich, which she makes very good grilled sandwiches. She brushes lemon juice on the outside of the bread before she grills it.
I don't. I brush apple cider vinegar.
Oh, apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
I thought it was lemon juice.
No,
Good
I
thing
brush,
didn't try it.
yeah, so to make, you don't have to give up grilled cheese to be vegan. So I brush apple cider
yours-
vinegar on the outside instead
Yeah,
of butter.
they're good. They're tasty
grill
and
it.
crunchy.
Who would have
And then
ever
again,
thought?
it
No,
tastes saltier because you've got that acid.
Oh, it's the acid. Okay, so I was on the right track.
Yeah,
Now,
very
about
close.
the how not to diet book,
Yes.
I assume that has a lot to do with all of the fad diets that you hear about that you should stay away from.
Well,
I was
when he
expecting
started
it, but
writing the
no.
book, that's what he expected he was going to write about. And then when he started digging into the deep research, he discovered there's so much more information out there. So it does very little about looking at the different fad diets, and it looks more at what does science tell us about weight loss, about environmental factors in weight loss, about nutrition in weight loss, all kinds of things, and looking at what is the ideal weight loss plan to work with the way that our bodies and our minds naturally work. And then he's got some tweaks that he's discovered, like adding apple cider vinegar to all your meals, just things to help people who really struggle with weight loss, because everyone's body is different, and what works for some people doesn't work as well for others. So he's got these tweaks for the people who really struggle, just to give them an extra advantage.
Like if maybe your weight problem might be caused by your thyroid gland not producing enough thyroid hormone, maybe eating sea vegetables would help.
Right, yeah, and he does recommend, because we shouldn't be eating salt, and for most of us, iodine, or salt is where we get our iodine. So if we can eat sea vegetables instead. So I like to eat a little wakame is my favorite sea vegetable. She likes to chew it like a piece of bubble gum.
Yeah.
I like to grind it up with black cumin seeds and use it as a salt substitute.
That's
to
what she
just
keeps
sprinkle
on her
my
table.
food.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the nori that they
Yes,
make
nori
the
is also a great
sushi
choice.
with.
You want to stay away from kelp?
Kelp.
Kelp, yeah, because you can get overdoses
Yes.
of kelp for some
Right.
reason. Too much overdose of iodine, right?
Yes,
Right.
and you
Yeah.
also want to avoid hijiki because that can be
Hijiki?
toxic. Yeah.
Oh.
But wakame, dulse, nori, those are all good choices.
Yeah, I was even reading somewhere in a book about nutrition for cats that you should feed them a little bit of sea vegetables also.
It's good because they're salty.
They're
They
delicious.
taste nice and salty. It's like a treat.
I love to make a pot of miso soup on a weekend. I love to stick some mushrooms in it and some tofu, and then a bunch of miso and wakame. And then also he talks about preloading, which is eating soup or salad before your meal, and it can actually have negative calories because you eat less at the meal. So I love to use some miso soup before a meal.
Dulse is another sea vegetable
Yes.
that I like. If we don't do it very often, but once in a while we'll have a meal at a Japanese restaurant, and there's usually seaweed salad on the menu. So I usually, if we eat at a Japanese restaurant, I'll order the seaweed salad.
We always get the miso soup there, even though I think mine is better. not as authentic, but I like it better.
It probably is, you know. Homemade is always the best.
Yes.
So, but anyway, how not to diet is, it has a lot to do with what kinds of food you eat, more than.
It even has like psychological things.
Yes, there's
like
a lot
why
of
people make
psychology.
the food choices they make.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yes, and just the way our brains are designed. So he repeats many times in the book, he says, being obese or overweight is not a moral failing. It's just the way that our brains are designed, and then the way our current food system is designed that works with it. So it's nobody's fault, really. But here's what we know about how to fix it.
Yeah, I'll have to see about maybe getting a copy of it.
It's fantastic. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And it's available everywhere. I'm sure even the libraries have it by now. I got mine from the bookstore in Lakewood off the beaten path.
Okay. Yeah.
But you're
Yeah.
always telling me little nuggets as you're reading it. And
Yes, I
things
have
like,
to keep calling people.
There was a study, and
Yeah, my
they
poor
gave people these
coworkers.
choices and what people chose. And
Yes.
if you say that if something is labeled like low fat, people tend to eat how much more of it?
There was a study done with M&Ms, and if people were told the low-fat M&Ms, or the M&Ms were low-fat, they ate 47% more
If they were told that.
if they were told they were low-fat. So they call it the halo effect on
The
foods.
halo effect.
And it's part of, they call it nutri-washing, which is what companies know about psychology, and they use that to make us unhealthier. Companies are actively doing that. So it's
they
important
do
to-
it. They make you unhealthy on purpose.
Right. Companies know about how our brains work in buying and eating food, and so they use that on their packaging and advertisements to convince us to be eating more unhealthy foods.
Well, you know, I one time read somewhere in a magazine that you know how common it is for how a large percentage of people crave chocolate. And I one time read something that if you drink, when you get that craving, if you drink a glass of organic grape juice, it'll the craving will go away. There's something about the grape juice that'll satisfy the
And
craving for
there
chocolate.
are health benefits to chocolate, but it comes packaged most of the time with
There's more sugar than chocolate.
Sugar and
yeah,
fat,
that's the problem.
You've got to watch for
That's
that.
the problem with chocolate is it's awfully calorie dense because of all the sugar.
Right, but you can take, cocoa powder, processed cocoa powder, which it's a processed food, but it's only had bad things removed, nothing bad added, and nothing good removed. So it's still a healthy choice.
Yeah.
And so, like, these donuts I made, you could easily add cocoa powder into those. I do it with carob powder because I can't eat cocoa. But you can easily make a chocolate donut that way that has none of those negative benefits, and then you're loading it with natural fruit sugars and lots of fiber.
Like that chocolate pudding I was talking about
Yes.
Yeah,
before
your
we
chocolate pudding.
started recording the program. Those of you in the viewing audience, you can take and you can pit and peel 2 avocados, throw them in your blender with a cup of unsweetened almond milk, maple syrup, cocoa powder. I don't have all of the measurements with me, but maple syrup for the sweetener and a little bit of cinnamon, and throw all of the ingredients in the blender and blend it for a minute, and you've got the best tasting pudding. It's the best tasting pudding I've ever had. So Well, I hate to say it, but we've come to the end of another episode
Goes
of Fresh
fast.
Perspectives, and I'm so happy that you were able to come today. And I'll see the rest of you in the viewing audience on the next episode in a couple of weeks.